Hello there, and welcome to class SIM 305. In this one, we're going to take a look at the mouse action buttons, or the mouse action area of the Simple Index interface. So in this case, I've opened up our Read Invoices with Zone OCR job. We've seen this one before if you've watched some earlier videos. So we're just going to run the job here, let it bring in some files, and this one has a little OCR job going on where it's going to identify some account numbers and order numbers and company and that sort of thing, and it'll just zip through here. And when it brings us back to our first page, we'll take a look at these mouse actions. So the first one, zoom in. Pretty obvious. We just click, and you can drag a box. And wherever you drag, it's going to zoom in. And you'll notice that it switched to the second option for me automatically, which is hand pan. So my icon now is, or my cursor rather, has changed to a hand. I can move this around wherever I want to, get anywhere on the page. We also have the traditional zoom options up here. We'll talk about another video regarding the menu buttons, but you can zoom out if you need to up here. You can go back to the full page, and we're back on zoom in when we do that. So now if I wanted to zoom in down here, just drag a new box. There it is. That's all there is to it. And again, we've gone back to hand pan, so pretty straightforward. One other option, the next one there is OCR to field. And when I choose that one, I can lasso a little piece of text anywhere on the document and make that the value that gets put into an index field. So let's say, for example, that this had been incorrectly filled in, that this document was different than my others for some reason, and I just wanted to get this customer order number instead of the one that it did grab over here. So with OCR to field selected and this particular index field selected, I can just drag a box right here. You'll see that it just OCRs that right there on the fly and substitutes the value in. The next button, Set Field Coordinates, is just what it sounds like. So we have these zones already defined, but for whatever reason, let's say that one of them is off. Our vendor has started sending us documents that are formatted a little bit differently. Just like when you're doing your main job options and you're on the Zones and OCR tab, and you can set zones there. You can also set them during a job as it's running, like we're doing right here with this one. So Set Field Coordinates. So if I wanted to permanently change that zone that I just did, instead of being over here in the order number box, I wanted to move it over to this second box that says customer order number. All I'd have to do is just, again, drag a box with that OCR cursor active there, and it's going to ask me what field does that box apply to. So in this case, it applies to the order number. I can hit OK, and you'll notice that up here it's telling me that my job has been modified. So I have made a change to the actual job options of this job. So I want to make sure I save before I completely finish working with this document. Going over to the right-hand column there, we're going to crop. Again, pretty self-explanatory. If I wanted to crop this particular document, we could just go in here, drag a crop box, and what's in red there is what will end up being saved in the final document. So if I save index here and come back to that page, it's now zoomed into just the section that I cropped. So we've lost all the white detail around the edge there. So if you have receipts, like you've scanned in just a skinny receipt from a convenience store or something, and it's showing a whole 8.5 by 11 area, you could crop it down to just the receipt, for example. And then last we have the annotate, and really what that does, you can either click on it, or actually if you choose any of the annotation tools, which are actually talked about in the next video, it'll automatically move it over there. So let's say I was on my hand pan and I went and clicked on one of my annotation tools. You'll notice that the radio button goes right to annotate. So if you use any of these annotation tools, it's letting you know kind of at a glance that we're in annotation mode. Whichever tool you have selected is one of those from the annotation panel, and that's what you see. That's really all there is to it for the mouse action area of the Simple Index interface. So if you have any questions about it, as always, contact us on the support line. Thanks for watching.